Good day! Are we digitally ready? This is a question that teachers and learners are probably asking right now. With the advent of DepEd's Digital Rise program, the Open Educational Resources, or OER, was woven together and finally realized. This project prioritizes the necessity to enhance the digital literacy skills of every teacher and learner in the country. Our OER mission is to connect the disconnected. OER is indeed an innovative initiative with a lofty aim to get disconnected schools and last-mile schools connected through ICT even without an internet connection.
It is designed to cater to the need of these schools for interactivity, digitalization, and delivery of 21st century skills that will ensure that every learner is future ready. Join us in another training workshop and learn more about open educational resources, whose primary purpose is to provide support and assistance to learners and teachers in this rapid advancement of technology. Our goal is to build and strengthen the capabilities of public and private teachers, school heads, and supervisors by teaching you to create and design interactive, localized, and contextualized instructional materials for teaching using basic, advanced, and proficiency software and tools. Surely, this will be another exciting and engaging webinar training workshop. Together, let's all rise amidst this crisis. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, para sa guro. Sulong edukalidad!
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICT's Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hello, herd of learners! Welcome to ETUlay online tutorial for personal development, quarter 4, week 3. And this afternoon, we will talk about the lessons, conduct a mini survey on Filipino relationships and the family structures. Best ngayong Webes, mga herd of learners. Kamusta kayong lahat? I am hoping that you are all doing great, that you are all safe and sound. Nasaan naman kayo ngayon? Lalo tigit sa lahat sa kasalukuyan ay may bagyo. Anong pangalan ng bagyo? Si Bagyong Dante, right? So dito sa Nueva Ecija, medyo maulan, particular sa Aliaga. At ang pakiusap ko sa lahat ng ating mga herd of learners, mga magulang at mga kaguruan, tayo po ay mag-ingat at higit sa lahat, isama po natin sa ating prayer list ang mga kababayan natin na kasalukuyang nakakaranas ng mata ng bagyo. Kaya naman, sa hapon na ito, huwag nating kalimutan na mag-whisper ng panalangin para sa kanila. But then, of course, tumutok lang kayo dito sa ating online tutorial session with your tutor A. So once more, Kasama nyo si Tutor A every Thursday for personal development at 4:40 p.m. to 5:20 p.m. And of course, live tayo sa Facebook through DepEd Edtech Unit, DepEd Philippines, and DepEd tayo account. At hindi lang sa Facebook, ganun din sa YouTube. But then, of course, Tutor A is very much grateful dahil makakasama nyo rin ako every Wednesday at 5:35 to 6 p.m. on DepEd TV as your Ma'am A. At hindi lang of course si Ma'am A or si Tutor A, kundi ganun din si Sir Mark or si Tutor Madge. Kaya naman for the learners, tumuto kayo dahil ang hatid ng Department of Education ay patuloy na maitulay at patuloy na maipagkaloob sa inyo ang kalidad na edukasyon. Kaya wag na wag kayong mawawala. At with that, hayaan nyo munang batiin ko lahat kayong mga Tutor A sa hapon ni ito. So magbigay daan tayo upang panggitin ang ilang mga kasama nating mga guro na nais na mag-aral or at mga estudyante at mga magulang for this afternoon session. Of course, isang pagbati mula kay Ma'am Marie Cruz de la Cruz ng Aliaga National High School. Good afternoon, Tutor A. Consistent yung attendance si Ma'am Marie Cruz, no? Talaga namang certified per dev body natin, si Ma'am Marie Chris. At ganun din, of course, si Ma'am Giancarla Dingle, of course, from Maligaya National High School. Good afternoon po sa inyo mga ma'am. At ganun din ang ating mga estudyante na sila Angel Soro, si Kylie Zel Eugenio, and of course, si Chris Naline Aguilar de la Rosa, at ganun din si J.R. Constantino, Kirby de la Cruz, Kenji Joaquin, and of course, si Ma'am Elma Celestino, nanonood din sa atin ngayon. Wow! Tutor A is very much grateful for this afternoon dahil kasama kayo naman may per of learners sa ating mga teachers at sa ating mga magulang manatili po nakasubaybay sa hapon ito. So let's first have our review, and last session we talked about the various roles in a society and the social influence. And for us to recall if what were our topics last week, magkaroon muna tayo ng review of the previous session. So madali lamang ang inyong gagawin. You will just have to carefully analyze the following sentences, and you will just select the letter of the correct answer. So let's begin, my part of learners, with item number 1. So which of the following characterizes a conforming individual? Letter A, accepts responsibility. B, face fear. C, gains approval. And D, likes reward. So when we say conformity, what do we mean by that? You go along with a group of people just for you to feel that you are belong, you are fit in their group. Therefore, what do you think among these 4 choices characterizes a conforming individual? If you know the answer, just type the number and of course your answer. Sige nga, tingnan ko kung meron kayong kung alam nyo ang sagot ni Part of Learners. Alright, binabati rin tayo ni Daniel Garcia Ignacio, ni Jamie Padilla, and of course ni Levin Yuda, and ni Maria Angel Nadora. So what is your answer, my Part of Learners? If your answer is letter C, you are correct. Amazing. A conforming individual gains approval para makita niya na siya ay belong sa isang grupo. What about item number 2? Which of the following characterizes a compliant individual? Is it letter A, B, C, or D? What do you think is the correct answer, my Part of Learners? So if your answer is D, you are correct. D means, or D refers to likes reward. So a compliant individual complied with a certain task for him or her first to avoid punishment or to gain a reward. Very good, my Part of Learners. And in the following items, you will just simply identify if the statement is a fact or a bluff. Let's have item number 3. Is it a fact or bluff? A servant leader put his own concerns, motives, and interests at the utmost above others. What is your answer? fact or bluff? Sige nga, Herd of Learners, may I see your answer? Alright. Salamat sa inyong mga pagbate. Jane, Jahara Labra, and Lorena Diaz Soro. Hello! If your answer is bluff, you are correct. Dahil ang servant leader serves other people first before his or her own interest. Number 4, an effective follower does understand the needs of the organization. Is it a fact or a bluff? What is your answer, my Herd of Learners? All right. So if your answer is fact, you are correct, and that is true. As effective follower, you have to understand what are the necessities that your organization needs, right? So for item number 5 and the last item, a leader serves others. What is your answer? Is it a bluff or fact? So if your answer is fact, you are correct. Very good, my Herd of Learners. So with that, are you able to recall the previous lessons that we talked about last week? If yes, of course, maraming salamat, and you are all amazing. For this afternoon, magsama-sama ulit tayo, may Herd of Learners, for another session. And let me share with you the learning targets that we want to achieve for this session. At the end of the session, you should be able to identify the different family structures. What else? Conduct a mini survey on Filipino relationships and value the importance of family. So with that, my Herd of Learners, I think that you are all ready. So if you are ready, do not forget to bring with you your Herd of Starter Fact packet. Consists of your pen and paper, your modules, and of course, we would like to thank the Pivot or the Calabarzon, the Region 4A, for allowing us to use these modules for this session. And of course, girls, do not forget to flex out your favorite lift tint on your beautiful smile, and boys, flex out your cool hairstyle with your nice hair wax. And do not forget to bring with you your heart, because Aristotle said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. For this session, let's talk about first, conduct a mini survey on Filipino relationships. Of course, hi din po muli sa ating mga teachers na kasama natin ngayon sa Ranilo Morales ng Aliaga National High School. Hello, Beshi. And of course, si Sir Jester Pagkaliwagan ng kasama natin. Of course, ito, Tutor Jester. Hello din, Beshi. At sa lahat ng mga estudyante na kasama natin ngayon, tumutok lang tayo. Okay. So one unique thing about Filipinos is how we form intimate attachments with other people. Wow, intimate attachments daw. Ano yun? Even though we may not be related by blood, we can come to consider outsiders as family. Last time, we talked about building social relationships. And social relationships, when we talk about social relationships as Filipinos, right? Ito yung isang bagay na talagang nagmamatter sa atin at tatak na ito at nasa dugo na nating mga Pilipino that we can easily form, intimate attachment with other people. Tama ba ako? But then, these social relationships are really vital to our growth, for us to strengthen the welfare of our being. So we talked about emotional intelligence. Now we are talking about we are now talking about social relationships, wherein in this part, no, we create circles of connections, and they expand as we reach middle and late adolescence. So what do we mean by that? We meet new people with diverse cultures, backgrounds, and values, right? Lalo na kapag halimbawang sumasali kayo sa mga competitions, right? Nakakakilala kayo ng iba't ibang mga estudyante mula sa iba't ibang lugar nung meron pa tayong physical or face-to-face learning, right? Nung normal pa ang sitwasyon. Lalo na tigit sa lahat when you are joining camping, di ba? Lalo na kung regional level, naalala ko, one time naka-attend ako sa isang international camping, no? Scout, right? Na kung saan nakamit kami doon ng iba't ibang mga Boy Scouts, no, all over the world. So with that, we are able to expand our connections with other people. At ilan sa mga nakilala ko doon ay hanggang ngayon, kaibigan ko pa rin sila. Why? Because this is how we form attachments or connections with other people, most especially about Filipinos. One unique thing about us, we form intimate attachments. Even though we are not just related by blood, no, kahit hindi natin ganun kadugo, kahit kakikilala lang natin, nagkakaroon agad tayo ng attachment sa ibang tao. Nailala ko tuloy yung mga Team Wilson, Team Jackpot kay Wilson, no? Lahat ng mga teacher broadcasters na kasama ni Tutor A, nakapag-form kami ng isang relationship as family, bilang magkakapatid, bilang magkakapamilya. And that is how we form connections with other people, particularly as Filipinos. But then you know what? The beauty of the Filipino connection is that we can build relationships not to survive, but to live, right? Here are the three types of Filipino relationships that we have to talk about this afternoon. And they are the family relationships, the friends and acquaintances, and community relationships. And to begin with, let's talk about family relationships. So family relationships refer to our ties with members of the family we belong to. Parents, siblings, grandparents, uncles, and aunts, and cousins who are related to us by blood are considered part of our family relationship. And of course, kung meron isang pinakamahalagang relationship na ikinikip natin bilang mga Pilipino, ito ay ang relasyon natin sa ating pamilya. And let me share with you here some of my family members. Of course, the Sago clan, the Maglangke clan, and of course, the Jimenez clan. And we say as well, di ba, that blood is thicker than water. At kahit anong mangyari, iiwanan daw tayo ng lahat, pero babalik at babalik pa rin tayo sa ating mga pamilya. The next one is friendship and acquaintances. To begin with, we have the friendship. It is shared with people with whom we have marked mutual bonds and affections. And in life, may part of learners, minsan, basta gagawa pa nating ituring na kapamilya ang ating mga kaibigan kaysa talaga sa mga kadugo natin. Di ba? Minsan mas close pa tayo sa ating mga kabarkada kaysa sa ating mga kapatid. But then, of course, this friendship is really important because these strong interpersonal bonds can lead to shared affection marked with kindness, understanding, and more. And I know, marami kayong mga kaibigan dahil tayong mga Pilipino pala kaibigan. So, pwede bang i-mention nyo ang mga kaibigan nyo ngayon? At sabihin nyo sa kanila, mahal kita, kadabarkad, mahal kita, kaibigan. And with that, let me share with you some of my friends na hanggang ngayon ay talaga namang close na close pa rin ni Teacher A for a lifetime friendship. Right? And the next one is acquaintances. These are the people who we encounter or meet once in a while. Nako, Tutor A, ito ba yung pinagtagpo pero di naman tinadhana? Malay mo, no? Ito yung mga paaaring nakakilala lang natin for a certain reason and most especially mga transactional purposes. It is not really necessary to spend quality time with them, and it is entirely possible to end up befriending them. But then this kind of relationship usually involves mutual transaction or interest. All right. And for the last one, we also have this what we call community relationships, which refer to functional or essential relations that involve meaningful interactions among people who reside in a community. And we talked about that last time, that as social animal daw kang ganun, ano, we have to connect with other people, we have to connect with other members of our community. Dahil sabi nga, no one is an island, we cannot really live alone, we need to live with other people, and with that we have to establish relationship as well with our community, not only with our family, not only with our friends, but with our family, with our community as well. Because establishing and strengthening community relationships is a vital key to fulfill a community's vision and aspirations. We are part of a community, we are part of a society, therefore, we have to build relationships with them for the sake and the interest of the community. So, I have here some pictures that I would like to share with you. Ito ay ilang mga paraan para makapag-build tayo ng relationship sa iba sa pamamagitan ng pag-aabot ng tulong at pagbabahagi ng kung ano mang meron ka, lalo't higit sa lahat sa panahon ng sakuna. And we can see right here the unity and the harmony in a community or in a society. At bilang mga Purdue learners, ipakita natin ito at magsimula tayo sa lugar kung saan tayo nakatira. Ang simple lamang na pagpupulot ng basura at pagpapakita ng kalinga sa ating kapaligiran ay isa ng strengthen ang relationship natin sa ating community. So, with that, my Purdue learners, right, these Filipino relationships are partnered with 3 principal units to shape your roles and responsibilities that enable you to become productive citizens of our country. And what are those 3 units? They are the family, the school, and the community. And we believe that the family is the key unit to primarily plant the seed of basic skills and essential values, as well as good manners and faith that should be instilled among you, right? And these are the foundations that we want to develop in your generation today, as you referred as the hope of our nation. And same with your school. The school provides what? Nourishment, educational nourishment for you as young people by providing adequate learning opportunities in the interest of your holistic growth and development. And lastly, learners, we also have this what we call the community that can provide trainings and programs that encourage you as young people to engage in social understandings. So just imagine a family, a school, and community. If these 3 units will be united, therefore, I believe that you will be able to be raised. You will be raised, as a strong nation builder, of the Philippines. And with that, may part of learners, naniniwala ako na kung kayo ay magiging cooperative, right? Kung kayo ay magiging cooperative sa inyong mga magulang, sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa kanila, of course, pag-honor at pagrespeto sa kanila, magiging cooperative kayo sa school sa pamamagitan ng pag-comply ng mga necessary requirements, lalo na sa panahon ngayon sa pagsagot ng modules, at magiging cooperative inyong community sa pamamagitan ng pakikipag-participate at pakikipag-unite sa lahat ng mga undertakings na ito. We could really build a progressive society, a progressive community wherein its people are living in harmony and unity. And with that, we part of learners, after knowing this social relationships that we have, the family, the friends, and acquaintances, and the community, let us try to conduct a mini survey about Filipino relationships. But then the question, Ma'am Aileen, paano ba gumawa ng isang mini survey? Bago ko ito ituro sa inyo, batiin muna natin ang mga kasama natin ngayon. Again, good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Christian Galindo ng San Ricardo National High School, Alena David, of course, ng San Ricardo National High School, si Casey Flores Yaga National High School at si Gladys Gueves ng Maligaya National High School. Maraming salamat, DepEd of Learners. You may also mention some of your friends to join us this afternoon. So, DepEd of Learners, let us proceed. So let's try to conduct a mini survey on Filipino relationship. But then, of course, let's talk about first what do we mean by mini survey. So we say that a survey is a data collection tool used to gather information about individuals. All right. So, but then when we say mini surveys are carefully focused on a specific topic. Commonly, kailan natin ginagamit ang mga surveys na ito kapag tayo ay nagko-conduct ng isang research. And basically, we use this survey for us to what? To gather information about our study. But then, on PERDEV, ang gagawin lang natin ay mini survey. And when we say mini survey, we will be focusing on a specific topic. And what are those? On Filipino relationships, the family, friends and acquaintances, and our community. So what are the roles, or what are the other descriptions of what we call mini survey? It contains only a limited number of questions, around 50 to 30, that are given to a small sample of 25 to 70 people. All right. What else? It usually uses more closed than open-ended questions. So those are the things how mini survey differs from a survey. All right. So the question is, what are the steps on writing a mini survey? Let's have first the step. Let's have the step 1. And for step 1, clearly identify your objectives. So what is the objectives? What are the objectives of this mini survey that you will conduct? You may ask yourself the following questions. What do I want to find out? And why? Ayan. What else? Is this technique the way to get this kind of information? Is it necessary for me to to write a mini survey for me to be able to gather the information that I need? Okay. What else? When I get the answers to these questions, will they meet my aims or goals? So, for example, we would like to determine which social skill is best suited to each family member. So that will be our objective. That will be our aim, to determine which social skill is best suited to each family member. And this one method to help determine which social skills particular family members are good at. So, tingnan natin. Step 2, find out what else has been done. Okay. So, of course, research and review materials or resources which have been previously used to examine your chosen subjects. So, dyan papasok yung pag-research ka, o tinatawag natin ang review of the related literature. So what is the importance of this? There may be ready-made survey questions already used by the other researchers that would fit your purposes. And this could provide you with useful ideas and information that are useful for your study. Again, magpo-provide lang sa'yo ng useful ideas and information, but doesn't mean na kokopyahin. Warning! Alright. So next, number 3. Choose the respondents. You must decide whether you are going to ask your questions of an entire group or whether you choose only a proper sampling as your respondent. So after determining your aim or your objectives, and after researching and reviewing other or previous studies which are related to your study. And ngayon, you have to what? You have to choose your respondents. And katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, since ito ay mini survey lang, limitado lang ang ating mga respondents. Next, the 4th one, which will be the last, is develop the questions. And I know ito yung part na napakahirap, but then I believe if you really if you fully understand at talagang aral na aral mo yung iyong study, kayang-kaya mo itong itaguyod may part of learners. So what are you going to do is to prepare the survey questions that will be given to your respondents. Learn to formulate good questions by thinking issues through and by knowing about the people who will answer the questions. Ano natin gagawin yon? Here are some guidelines that will help you. Letter A, use simple and direct language. Huwag gawing komplikado, most especially, don't use highfalutin words. When we say highfalutin words, ito yung mga salita na masyadong malalalim, okay, na hindi maabot ng vocabulary na magiging respondents mo. So make it sure that you will only use simple and direct language and make it sure that your question should be short or your questions are short, simple, and clear. Letter B, be specific. No, some concepts may mean different things to different people. So try to be as specific as possible when you ask questions. Then, of course, paano natin gagawin yon? So instead of saying, how do you spend quality time with your family, which is a very open question, right? Because we have different ways to spend quality time with our family. So instead of saying that or including that in your mini survey questionnaire, you may ask, how many times in a month do you spend time for family bonding? And with that, you become more specific, right? Okay, with your mini survey questions. Okay. For letter C, break down big ideas into multiple questions. And another way to deal with broad concepts that mean different things to different people is by breaking them down into multiple and more tangible questions. So for example, mutual respect is really a big word. Dahil pag narinig natin ang mutual respect, papasok dyan yung humanity, okay? Andito yung diversity, andito yung sportsmanship, ito, of course, ang sexuality, at napakalawak ng salitang mutual respect. So how are you going to break down this idea? So you could instead ask to give an opinion on a scale that would range from what? From strongly agree to what? Strongly disagree to strongly agree. So instead of presenting a large idea, you have to narrow down that idea, and you may use the scales or you may use a scale that ranges from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And the last one is, the fourth one is avoid leading questions. Okay? Don't be biased. Wag mong i-lead ang iyong mga respondents sa isang sagot na papabor doon sa gusto mo. Because sometimes, no, ganun ang ginagawa ng mga researchers. But then, of course, iwasan natin yan. Letter E, ask one thing per question. So, isa-isa lang. Wag mo pagsabi into a single question, right? Each of your survey questions should ask one thing only. It seems simple enough, but many survey writers fall into the double-barreled question trap. Ano ibig sabihin nun? It is a better option may be to split the question into two separate ones, and you can check it out by asking your advisor or pwede naman by asking help from a friend. And the last one is use more interval questions. Interval rating scale questions are the most common type used for surveys, and we can use them to capture the level of feelings of the respondents has about the topic of interest. Okay, so you will have the choices, and the choices can be strongly disagree, neither agree nor disagree, agree, and strongly agree. I know that you are already familiar with this dahil pinag-uusapan nyo na ito sa inyong practical research too. But then, of course, dito gagawin lang natin sa ating per dev ay isang mini survey. Okay. So now, tingnan natin and let's conduct a mini survey on saan? Family relationships. And let's try to answer this. So the direction is you will just simply put a check Okay? If who among the members of the family should possess the following social skills? So, my part of learners, I would like to encourage each and every one of you to participate in this simple mini survey about family relationships. And you will just simply type if who among the members of the family should possess the following social skills on the comment box. But then for Tutor A's screen, i-check natin siya. So let's begin with the first social skill, no? Establish house rules with corresponding disciplinary measures. So, direct at very simple lang ang language na gagamitin natin. So now, my part of learners, can you identify kung sino sa mga family members na ito ang dapat mag-establish ng house rules? Father, mother, ikaw, yung kapatid mong lalaki, or yung kapatid mong babae? What is your answer? May I see it? Patingin nga ng inyong mga sagot, may part of learners. Okay? So if your answer is the father or your father, that is correct. But then, as the world changes, no? At lalo na sa panahon ngayon na nagkakaroon ng pagbabago, lalo tigit sa lahat sa ating mga family structure, no? Hindi lang tatay ang nag-implement ng house rules, kundi maging ang nanay din naman. Maraming salamat sa inyong sagot, Anika Toro and Maria Nadora. Yes, pwedeng father at pwedeng mother. Very good. What about number 2? Supervise the implementation of house rules. Merong nag-e-establish, of course, sa isang pamilya, kailangan ma-implement ito. So, sino ang taga-supervise? Father, mother, ikaw, your brother, or your sister? What is your answer? Okay. Nako, humabol si Kylie Eugenio, father and mother. What about in item number 2? Sino ang taga-supervise? If your answer is the mother, that's true. Technically, no, the mother talaga ang tumitingin kung nai-implement ba yung house rules. Pero katulad ng sinabi natin, hindi lang si mother. Sa panahon ngayon, pwede ding si father. Lalo tigit sa lahat, tagapagpaalala di ba sa tatay? O ayun yung nanay nyo. Nagawa nyo ba yung mga inuutos niya? Something like that. At ganun din naman yung nanay natin, di ba? Parating na yung tatay nyo. Nagawa nyo ba yung mga pinagpili niya bago siya umalis? Okay. Next, number 3, work harmoniously in accomplishing household chores. Nako, tingnan nga natin kung sino ba ang dapat na nagtutulong sa pag-accomplish ng mga gawaing bahay. Nako, si mother at si father pa rin kaya ang dapat na gumawa ng mga gawaing bahay? So, sino ang dapat? Of course, ikaw, may part of learner. Sino pa? Ang iyong kuya or kapatid na lalaki. At ganun din ang iyong kapatid na babae. Pero, pinakamaganda kung bawat membro ng pamilya ay nagtutulong-tulong para sa isang gawain. Dahil it is actually a form of bonding para sa inyo bilang magkakapamilya. Maraming salamat, Jamia, Glighty. And of course, sa lahat pa ng sumasagot na kasama natin ngayon, maraming salamat. Of course, for number 4, supports family members' goals and dreams. Who among the members of the family should support, no? Okay, so kung ang sagot nyo ay father, correct? Correct? Your brother, correct? Your sister, correct? And of course, ikaw din. So, di ba? It's very pleasing at napakasaya ng isang pamilya kung nagsusuportahan sila sa lahat ng mga pangarap at mga goal ng isa't isa. And we call that as family goals, right? And for the last one, practice constant communication, and it's commit to spend the family quality time. So, sino ang dapat makapag-possess nito? The answer is, nako, maraming salamat. Alena David, Glady Alcantara, Natalie De La Cruz, Anika Soro, Mama Chris, and Daniel. Yes, the correct answer is all. Lahat tayo dapat ay nagko-commit at nagkakaroon ng constant communication and family time with one another. So with that, my part of learners, we have just done about Filipino relationships, and I am hoping that you can do it next time sa mga susunod pa nating activity. And now na natutunan natin kung paano mag-conduct ng isang mini survey, let us proceed to another topic which is about family structures. All right. So are you still here with Tutor A? So let's talk about now by part of learners if what are the different family structures. But then of course, let us first define if what do we mean by family structures or by family. So the family is defined as a socially recognized group, usually joined by blood, marriage, cohabitation, or adoption that forms an emotional connection among its members and that serves as an economic unit of society, right? So as Filipino, we are very much family oriented and we really value our family members. At lagi nga nating sinasabi, laging sinasabi ng mga magulang, kantiin mo na ako, wag lang ang aking mga anak. Because that's how we value each member of the family. And same with us na mga anak, kantiin mo na tayo, wag lang ang ating mga magulang. But then technically, the family is the basic unit of the society. It is the nucleus of civilization. And it is the smallest functional unit of the community, just like the cell in every living organism. And the family plays several essential functions in the society that when fulfilled can make the nation great. So having a family, right, is like having an inspiration and having a driving force for you to keep going, lalo na sa pagtupad ng inyong mga pangarap sa lahat ng mga part of learners natin talagang nag-aaral para sa pamilya. And with that, alam ko na napapakita nyo ang pagpapahalaga nyo sa inyong mga kapamilya sa pamamagitan ng pag-aaral ng mabuti. But then of course, our family has a structure. Actually, it has different structures. So now, let's try to identify each family structure beginning with a nuclear family. So what do we mean by nuclear family? It consists of at most a father, mother, and dependent children. And it is considered as the traditional family. So this is the traditional family or the nuclear family which consists of nanay, tatay, at ang mga anak. But then, tayong mga Pilipino, hindi lang tayo nabubuhay sa isang bahay na puno na nakatira ay nuclear family. Meron din tayong tinatawag na extended family. It is common for us to find 3 generations living together in a house, no? And often grandparents play a large role in raising their grandchildren. Very normal sa atin and very common sa ating situations na bilang mga Pilipino, kasama natin sa ating tahanan ng ating mga tito, ang ating mga tita, ang ating mga pinsan, at maging ang ating mga lolo at lola. And commonly, ayan, pumapasok yung mga laki sa lolo at laki sa lola. Sino dito sa inyo, per the learners, ang lumaki sa lolo at lumaki sa lola, right? And this has been our culture bilang mga Filipino, that we live together with our extended family. And we consider that as another family structure. So let's proceed to more family structures. We have the step blended bonus or insta family. This forms when you and your partner make a life together with the children from one or both of your previous relationships. So unfortunately, pwedeng halimbawa, ang iyong tatay ay passed away, no? And your mother fell in love with another man, and then itong man na ito ay mayroon ding another family, and nagsama sila, nagpakasal sila, so we can call that as a step blended bonus or insta family. The fourth one is the single parent family, at marami talagang ding mga Filipino ang single parent. Sino dito ang kanyang magulang or pinalaki siya ng isang single parent? Be proud dahil hindi ganun kadali ang mapalaki ng nanay or ng tatay. So be proud with your mom or with your daddy. So it means that either a father or a mother who is solely responsible for raising the child. So the fifth one is adoptive family. One or more of the children has been adopted, lalo tigit sa lahat doon sa mga couple na unfortunately hindi sila makagawa ng kanilang anak. So the chance is they adopt. And I believe that there's nothing wrong about that. Dahil sa panahon ngayon, maraming mga bata ang nangangailangan ng kalinga ng isang magulang. Tama? Next, number 6, biracial or multiracial family. This consists of parents of different races and their biracial or multiracial offspring. At nangyayari ito, di ba, sa ating mga Pilipino, kaya minsan iba sa ating mga kababayan naiilab sila sa ibang mga lahi. Okay, kaya nga 'di ba, kung titingnan natin yung ating mga Miss Universe Philippines, right? Yung iba sa kanila lahi ng ibang bansa, right? Katulad din si Catriona Kay, and ayan ang ating most recent na Miss Universe Philippines na si Miss Rabia Mateo. So the seventh one is transracial adoptive family. So it means that the adopted child is of a different racial identity group than the parents. Okay, very simple lang, right? So for the eighth one, gay or lesbian family. It means one or both of the parents' sexual orientation is gay or lesbian. And there's nothing wrong about that, right? Dahil bawat isa atin meron tayong kakayahan na palaki ng isang bata, depende man sa ating kasarian. Lalatikit sa lahat sa buwan na ito na ipinagdiriwang natin ng Pride Month. So saludo po sa lahat ng mga gay or lesbian family na sa kabila man maaaring pangungas ka ng ibang kapwa, nakapagpalaki po kayo ng inyong mga minamahal na mga anak nang naaayon sa inyong kakayahan. Proud po ako sa inyo. And for the ninth one, we also have this what we call immigrant family, which means the parents have immigrated to another country as adults. So ito yung mga immigrant, lalo na sa Canada, di ba? Ang daming mga Filipino ang nakatira na sa ibang bansa, particular sa Canada. And we call that immigrant family dahil hindi lang isa, kundi buong pamilya na nila ay nagpupunta doon. And for the last one, we have the migrant family. It is a family that moves regularly to places where they have employment. Okay. So maaaring dahil sa nature ng kanilang work, no, nagpapalipat-lipat sila ng lugar just for them to go along with a member of the family. Most especially maaari kung ito ay yung tatay or yung nanay ng pamilya. So, those are the 10 different family structures may per of learners. And if you can see, madami sila, di ba? 10, right? Basically, ang malalaman lang natin is nuclear and extended. But then, these 10 are the different family structures. Well, may per of learners, each consists of unique families members, and we have seen as time goes by that a family could further transform into different structures. But at the end of the day, may per of learners, a family will always be a family. It really doesn't matter how a family is structured. What matters is the unconditional and immeasurable love that its members share with one another. So there you go, my per of learners. We are done with our lessons for this afternoon session, and it's time for Tutor 8 to give you an assessment. Ano ang gagawin natin for Week 3 assessment? So it's very simple, my per of learners, because on your module, you have to accomplish the activity understanding my own family structure. So you will just be needing a family picture. So if you have a family picture, you may post it on your notebook or on a clean bond paper. But if you do not have a recent family picture, pwede ka namang mag-cut ng pictures from a magazine and just put the name of your family member on each picture. But then if you are really creative, pwede mo silang i-drawing. So what you're going to do is to identify the structure of your family at home. Isusulat ang pangalan ng bawat isa sa kanila, and you will just simply write a short paragraph that would best describe your family. I know may part of learners, walang perpektong pamilya, pero sino man or anong klaseng mang pamilya ang meron ka ngayon, I believe na yan ay binigay sa'yo ng Lord. So, i-value mo ang bawat isa sa kanila. Ipakita mo ang iyong pagmamahal sa kanila araw-araw. Dahil ang sabi natin for this session, hashtag a shout out is having somewhere to go is home. Having someone to love is family. And having both is a blessing. This afternoon, we mostly talk about family because I believe as Filipinos, we are truly family-oriented and we deeply love our family. That is why if you have your family with you, always tell them about your love, or always tell them that you love them so much, and always show to them how you deeply love them because they are really the most precious gifts that we could ever receive in this world. So always remember having home and having someone to love as your family are both a blessing from the Lord. My part of learners, marami pong salamat sa inyong pagsama with Tutor A this afternoon. And if you have any feedback or any comment, you may contact me with the following personal accounts on IG, Facebook, and Gmail. But then, of course, if you have any other questions and suggestions, you may also email us at DepEd or at edtech@deped.gov.ph. My part of learners, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and I am hoping na kayo ay maraming natutunan. Laging tandaan kay Tutor A on personal development, ikaw ang best doing my best. Up next, my part of learners is Tutor Anna for Introduction to World Religions and Belief System. Kita-kita tayo next week. Ingat and God bless us all.